What's going on, Taurus? It's your girl D here with 8th House Energy, here to bring you your June 2021 solar eclipse reading. The solar eclipse is on June 10th, and in the description box below, I went into detail about what we as a planetary body may be experiencing with these energies. So make sure you check that out as well, because this is a great time for you to manifest the things that you want, and you are a wonderful manifester, so you definitely want to make sure that you check that video out too, so that you understand how it may be affecting you, right? So I'm going to put out a couple cards here, and we're going to get to talking about how this energy can affect you. So you have the solar eclipse in your second house, okay? That's where the sun is, which is in Gemini, okay? Also the moon, because that's what the solar eclipse is. It's the moon, all right? So the moon is there, the sun is there, and then you have Mercury retrograde there. All that is in your second house, all right? So you normally rule the second house, right? So the second house is all about your... it's all about your self-worth, your self-value, okay? How you feel about yourself based on how you see others treat you, okay? That's what has to do with. It also has to deal with your possessions. It also has to deal with your money-making potential, okay? And real estate as well. So let's talk about how those energies may be affecting you. I just want to get one more card out. So we're not using traditional tarot for this reading. I'm using runes, gypsy oracle, as well as some Uno cards, okay? So let's get into it. So we have the rune called Iwaz, okay? This is rune number 13. So number 13 talks about death and rebirth, the scorpionic energy. And it's interesting that it talks about that because Scorpio is your opposite polarity. Okay, meaning it's the opposite energy of you. So you talk about Taurus rules your personal money making opportunities and how you get money. The opposite polarity is Scorpio, and that talks about how you get money via other people, whether that's donations, whether that's inheritance, the ways that you get money from other people without working for it, basically, right? So we're talking about Iwaz. It's spelled Ihwaz for those of you who are interested in doing research on runes, which are another form of divination. To me, anything is a divination. You can read it if you can read it. If you have that gift to read it, you can read it. I can read a lot of things. I can read pictures. I do the photos. It just depends on what you're able to do, right? So I don't have to use traditional tarot all the time. So we have this Iwaz symbol. This symbol talks about defense, enlightenment, protection, divination, spiritual wisdom. That does sound very scorpionic. We're talking about protection and self-defense, seeking ancient wisdoms, vision questing, developing inner strength, all right? Developing that inner spiritual strength. So that's when you're going through a transformation. Remember, this rune represents the number 13, which is all about the scorpionic energy, which is all about transformation, death and rebirth, okay? We're also talking about wisdom of the ancients, tapping into that occult knowledge, physical death and spiritual rebirth. This also talks about transcending the physical plane, enlightened creativity, connection to past lives, communication with ancestors, and spiritual strength. So this is an energy that's very, I would say, very psychic, deals with the occult energy. So this is just you tapping into your shadow side, basically. And then we have that clarified with the misfortune energy, as well as the, this is the 9 of Cups in reverse. So I feel like this energy, the way that it's going to be affecting you, or the way that you will maybe feeling it, as far as in your second house, because we're talking about self-worth and self-value first of all. So in terms of self-worth, self-value, and this self-worth and self-value that we feel in the second house has a lot to do with us. It has a lot to do with how we feel, but it has a lot of influence based on how people treat us. So for example, you could be in an environment where you grew up as a kid where your parents, you cried out and they didn't answer you. You had to cry for hours before they even got to you, right? And so as an adult, because of that training, whether you look at it as training or not, but that was training for you. You were being trained. And so as an adult now, you may feel as if you're not being heard, or you may feel as if, what's the sense of me saying anything? Nobody's going to listen to me anyway, type of energy. Especially if you grew up with that in your household where, your parents didn't really, you were the type of child who were taught, okay, speak when you're spoken to. Or you have parents who, they tell you to do something and you ask a question, they're like, don't talk back to me. And it's not about you not talking back. Like, that's the worst thing a parent can do. Is when I tell you to do something, do it. Don't ask questions. Don't talk to me. Just do what I tell you to do. Like, that's very dangerous to a child because they're trying to process what it is. Some parents think about it as like, oh, you trying to be the adult. You don't need to be thinking about, I'm the one. But what that does is it limits your child's thought process, so they're not able to really think for themselves. So you're putting them in a situation where they're listening to other people. So some of you, you may be in a position where you realize that you were listening to other people's perception of what you should be doing, how you should be doing things, the way you should be doing it. Whether it's society, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends. It's like I feel an energy of you looking outside yourself for answers. And in reality, what this is saying here is that it's time for you to go within. Some of you are going through a transformation now because of the decisions you made. They were all to please other people. They were all because you were worried about what other people thought or how other people felt. Right? And so as a result, what was going on inside of you was this, because you wasn't listening to who you were. And as a result, with this is the 9 of Cups to me in reverse. So as a result of the 9 of Cups energy and the misfortune, as a result of you not listening to who you are, not trusting who you are because maybe you were taught that way, as a result, a lot of disaster has occurred in your relationships and how you feel about yourself. And if you don't fix that part of you, that has a direct effect on your money making potential. Okay? It's interesting because these two energies are ran by the second house. Your self-value, your self-worth, and your money making potential. So depending on how you feel about yourself, it depends on your money making opportunities because it's all about self-esteem. Do you feel you can do it? Yeah, I could do it. And I'm going to go out there and get it. Well, that's what you're going to do then. If you feel deep down that you're not worthy of something or that you're not deserving of something or that it's too much work or, because you're listening to other people project onto you, telling you what may be too much work for them. And so you shun the situation. I remember one time I was thinking about writing a book. And I had told a friend about it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to write this book. And, this is what it's going to be about. And his friend said to me, everybody got books out about that. Why you got to write a book about that? It's 20,000 other authors out there that's writing about the same shit. And so at that time, I just was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I just threw it away. But had I had more self-value and knew my self-worth and had more self-esteem and knew not to worry about what other people said, I'd have wrote that book by now. I probably would have wrote a few. Okay? So that's an example of how we let other people around us, people who we look at as our friends and family, tell us what we should be doing. Or we go to them and, hey, what do you think about this? And then we take that, and instead of taking that information that they said to us and saying, let me run that by my higher self and see how my higher self feels about that. And then making the decision. And opposed to, okay, this is what this person said, so I'm going to throw it out because they don't think the idea is good. So I feel like you're coming out of that energy. You're going to be coming out of that energy. You're going through a transformation right now in reference to that, where you're just focused on what it is that I want. Because this is all about being unhappy. Okay? 9 of Cups in reverse to me. This is all about being unhappy because of misfortunate situations, because you allow others to, tell you what you should be doing. Because this card also talks about defense, protection, divination, spiritual wisdom. What that means to me is going within, checking everything against your higher self before you make a decision. To hell with what other people have to say. And I feel like that some of you are coming into that energy now and you're realizing that that's what you're going to need to do. So on June 10th, what you can do if you're into writing affirmations and things like that, you can write some affirmations in reference to that. Building up your self-value, building up your self-worth, building up your self-esteem. Now, when we talk about that, the second house rules also not only self-esteem, self-worth, it also rules your money-making opportunity. We talked about how those two are intertwined, right? So you may want to talk about, or you want to write your affirmations. You may want to write affirmations about manifesting money, but you definitely need to include self-worth and self-value in there as well, so that it gives you the fuel that you're going to need to say, you know what, I can do this. Yeah, I want to do this, and I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I can do it. I just need to stay focused and not be worried about what somebody else thinks about what I'm doing. If I want to go to the gym today and I'm walking past my friend and my friend is telling me, yo, come on, let's, you don't come hang out. And I know when I hang out with this person, all I do is sit around, smoke, drink, and eat. It's like, yeah, I could do that with you, but I'm going to the gym first. At least I can get it in for myself and take care of myself first. And then if I ain't got nothing to do the rest of the day, then yeah, maybe I'll light up with you or have a drink with you and we'll go get something to eat. But if you decide, and if this person says, oh, why are you going to the gym? And you're influenced by this person, and you're not in tune with who you are, you're gonna be looking at that as, oh, this person, they're gonna talk shit about me, or and I'm gonna, it's gonna look stupid, so let me just go hang out with them. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to be talked about. I don't want to be shunned because I'm trying to do something that's best for me. That's just a basic example. Sounds stupid, but it could get more intricate and more detailed, and I know some of you have been through that. So yeah, you want to write your affirmations in reference to how you can change that. So this is a good energy. If you're not happy with what's going on in your life, think about what you want to change and what you want to do. But think about why you're not happy. Were these actually your decisions, or were these decisions that you made that in the end you were unhappy with? These decisions that you made, did you make these decisions because you was worried about what other people thought? Or did you make these decisions because you ran it against your higher self? Like, let me run a check against my higher self about this. Because a lot of times, if you realize that you didn't do that and you start changing that, you're going to be happier. So let's get some energy here to tell you, or to, not to tell you, but what energies do you need to embody to get into that energy of finishing out your transformation, so that you're able to stop worrying about what other people say, or stop, taking other people's influence over yours in reference to decisions that are best for you. So we have Uranus energy. And it's funny because Uranus is in your first house. Oh, I love when the universe does that. Thank you. Thank you. Uranus is in your first house. So like I said, this energy represents transformation. You're going through a transformation right now because Uranus is in your first house. Uranus is all about rebelling. It's all about being unique and being individual and focusing on self. So these cards go hand in hand. So this is what I feel like is going to go on with you guys, or what you're going to be feeling, because these energies last all summer. It's very important that you think about this and what it is that you want to write your affirmations about. Now, the affirmation time frame, it's most potent June 10th, 11th, and 12th. Okay? You can write your affirmations and put it in a book and put it somewhere, or you can write your affirmations and then go outside late at night, read it, and then burn it. However works for you. Okay? You can write your affirmations, fold it up, put it in a box, a specific box that you have for your affirmations. However you want to rock. Right? But you guys are definitely going through a transformation right now. You're realizing, look, I got to do what's best for me. I try to look out for everybody else or consider everybody else. And I've done that, and it's done nothing but made me miserable. The hell with what everybody else thinks. So Uranus is going to make you look like you're rebelling. So the people around you may have issue. They may take issue. Okay? But this is the whole point. If they take issue, what are you going to do? Are you going to look at, okay, why are they taking issue? Because they're trying to control me. They're trying to tell me what to do. But look at what the hell going on in their lives. How the hell are you going to give someone total control to tell you what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing when their lives is chaos? Look at their lives. Look at what's going on with them. Now, that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is messages come to you. It don't matter who it is. A lot of people will be like, oh, I'm not listening to nobody about relationships, and this person who's telling me about it ain't in a relationship. That I can understand. But on the flip side, on a deeper level, it's like that doesn't mean that this person ain't never been in a relationship. It could be that this person has learned from their mistakes in a relationship, and they're trying to explain to you, hey, that might not be a good idea because blah, 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 blah. So you should look at it both ways. You shouldn't just brush it off. Well, they ain't in a marriage. How the hell are they going to tell me? Because everybody ain't the same. Because if everybody was the same, everybody who wanted to be in a relationship would be in one. People are not the same. And don't knock messages because they come from someone who may not be in a relationship. This person could have been in a relationship for years, could have been married 3, 4 times. Now, just because it didn't work out don't mean that they don't have wisdom from the experience. And so that's what you have to understand. Is this person talking to me from a place of wisdom, or are they just talking to me from a place of their ego? Run it against your higher self. Your higher self will tell you. You've been around this person. If you think about this person enough to take their opinion into consideration and do it, then stop for a minute. Run it, stop for a minute, think for a moment, okay? And figure out if this is something that my higher self is really resonating with, or is this some bullshit, right? And that's how you do it. So that's what I got for you, Taurus. So check out the link in the box below to the June solar eclipse video that I did, because it goes more into detail about the energies that we're all going to be experiencing on a planetary level. This will allow you, to be a little bit 2 steps ahead of the game in reference to the energies that are going on this summer, because we got a lot of planets in retrograde. Saturn's in retrograde, Pluto's in retrograde, Jupiter is going to be in retrograde this month, Neptune's going to be in retrograde this month, Mercury's in retrograde right now. In August, Uranus is going in retrograde. So all the planets go in retrograde every summer. So this is secular, okay? So understanding the planets and how they affect you is very important, because it'll put you in a position where you can figure out some things and keep yourself out of a lot of unnecessary bullshit, a lot of unnecessary stress, and a lot of unnecessary drama. So with that being said, hopefully this resonated. If it did, please click the like button. If you would like to leave a message on how it resonates, please do. Any negative comments towards me or anybody in the 8th house energy community, you're going to be deleted and blocked, so refrain from the negative energy, the misguided anger, because you're not mad at me. It's just the reading may have triggered you. Understand that, because I do. So with that being said, I love you guys. If you need a personal, my information is in the box below, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye, Taurus.